You're not going to believe me, but there are two simple words that can help anyone who works in violence prevention get their participants onto a path of change. They're the same two words that helped me change my life 25 years ago from sitting in a prison cell to starting and leading multiple offices of violence prevention. As CVI workers, you're in the business of helping people change behavior that puts them at risk of being involved in violence. Many participants live their lives defined by labels: troublemaker, gang member, criminal. These labels are often reinforced by the environments in which they grow up, the media's portrayal of people like them, and even the expectation of their peers in their communities. Each instance of being judged, dismissed, or misunderstood strengthens the belief that these labels are their only identity. These identities feel permanent because the world reinforces them at every turn. But what if I told you there's a way to help them see themselves beyond these labels? Two words that can spark self reflection, challenge assumptions, and unlock their potential. These two words that I'm talking about are I am, and they're the foundation of identity. When participants are introduced to this phrase, it can shift their entire perspective and start rewriting their story, unlocking new ways for them to see themselves and their future. There's a saying, you do what you think you are. The risky behavior that gets participants into trouble is often a reflection of how they see themselves and how they believe someone with that identity is supposed to act. By helping them challenge and change the labels they place on themselves, you create an opening to reinforce a new identity through meaningful actions. Whatever follows the phrase I am defines how participants see themselves and shapes the choices they believe are available to them. It's the foundation of their narrative and potential. It's not just a label, it's the lens through which they view their entire world. When I was a teenager, there was a narrative about young black men. We were called an endangered species. We were told that we were less likely to graduate from high school, more likely to go to prison than college, and more likely to die by the age of 25 than anyone else in the world. I and thousands of young people like me heard and believed this endangered species narrative. Believing that I'm more likely to go to prison or get killed stole our hope for better futures for ourselves, and we acted like we had nothing to lose. See, a hopeless person is a reckless person. It wasn't until I learned and believed that I could change how I completed the I am phrase that I was able to turn things around and began to do, have, and live a better life. When you teach this to your participants, they can begin to redefine their I am and start to envision a future where their actions align with their potential. Helping them redefine their I am becomes the first step in guiding them towards reconsidering their behavior and lifestyle. You can begin to introduce this to your participants by helping them challenge the labels that they have of themselves. Ask your participant, what's one thing about you that no one seems to notice? Or ask them, who would you be if no one else told you who to be? These questions force them to look past what they've been told and start questioning the limits they placed on themselves. You're not just helping them break free of those limits, you're showing them the possibility of a new narrative. All right, next, you're going to have conversations with them that focus their vision toward possibilities. Imagine a participant says, people just see me as a gang member, so I guess that's who I am. In that moment, you could respond, who or what do you want them to see you as? What's the I am that you want to define you? This reframes their perspective, creating space to highlight their strengths and move closer to who they want to be. Encourage them to imagine a version of themselves beyond their current circumstances. This isn't about fixing who they've been, it's about helping them discover who they could be. As CVI workers, your role is to help participants turn their I am into a roadmap for growth. Help them see challenges as opportunities, not roadblocks, and remind them that change is possible when their actions match their vision. Once they've identified their vision, guide them to replace destructive labels with affirming ones. I am strong. I am smart. I am responsible. Then tie those affirmations to concrete actions. For example, I am responsible might mean showing up for school or work on time. This alignment between words and actions transforms how they see themselves, making their new identity feel authentic and achievable. Part of your job is helping them access services, supports, and opportunities to realize success in that new identity. This could include connecting them to job training programs, educational resources, or helping them develop a skill or hobby that could lead to a new lifestyle. By providing access to these supports, you help them take tangible steps towards living out their new identity. This is why having a deep and wide network to connect your participant to is really important. Leave a comment if you want me to do a video about how to build that network, and I got you. But back to this conversation. When participants start to redefine their I am, they begin to change their narrative. It's not just about saying the words I am, it's about connecting those words to actions that build confidence and align with their desired future. Again, your job as a CVI worker is to help inspire, encourage, advise, assist, and hold your participants accountable in changing their behavior to lessen the risk of being involved in or experiencing violence. Helping them see themselves as someone who is capable of being, having, and doing more than the identity they currently have for themselves will play a critical role in reducing those risks. As usual, I hope you found this video helpful. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything or if there's some questions I can answer for you. Also, I know I'm not the only expert. I want you to share how you've helped participants see themselves differently and embrace change. Your insight could inspire others in our CVI community. Maybe it was something someone said to help you open your eyes to change. Either way, I want you to share it with the incredible messenger community. Your story may help another CVI worker help their participants.